One of the things that's hardest to accept about a fitness journey is that sacrifice is involved. And I don't just mean sacrifice in what you'll be eating or not eating, or sacrifice in terms of having to get up earlier or go to bed earlier. What it really is sacrifice in terms of what you're thinking about more, right? Like, you can't be thinking about shit that isn't going to get you to this goal, right? And you can't be complaining about it either, right? Because if you're constantly complaining to yourself about it, then you're going to be full of negativity to yourself and others. So essentially, you have to accept that sacrifice comes in the form of not just free time or free diet, but free thought. Because a good amount of your thought is going to be directed towards that goal, if you decide to sustain that goal and pursue it, right? And a lot of times people have the idea or feeling of a goal, and they have it very intensely for a period of time, and then their focus changes, as life often causes to happen, and then the goal is in the background of their mind, or even just completely absent from their mind, and it makes them wonder if they really want the thing. It's made me wonder if I really wanted the thing. For me, the thing was getting bigger, because that's part of what I mean by sacrifice, right? If you're going to, I know people talk about sacrifice a lot. They fucking jerk off to sacrifice, the idea of it, right? But what I'm trying to say is, on a really serious or a really sincere level, is that one of the things you sacrifice by having a goal like that is the freedom to change your mind whenever you feel like it. And I think a goal is important to you if it keeps coming back to you. If every 6 months, 3 months, you're like, man, it would be so sick to blah, 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 and you still haven't done it, then it's probably important to you, right? I mean, if it's not important to you on an absolute level, the question becomes, why does it keep popping in there? And it's is it because you have a sense of inadequacy and you haven't dealt with, is it because, there's some kind of sort of false consciousness at work. There's some kind of not being really honest with yourself at work. We're not being fully aware of yourself and what it is you're trying to get done. And so these goals, these sort of flights of fancy, pop in there to kind of fill that void, or to kind of make you feel like you want things. Because not knowing what you want doesn't feel good. And also wanting nothing doesn't feel good either. And part of why that is that people who want nothing, who seem to have no ambition, are not valued very highly in society. It's another story, it's another conversation, but it's true. So sudden goals or sudden desires or flights of fancy or impulses pop into your head to kind of make you feel like you have a purpose. And these flights of fancy, these change with the wind, right? They might be here today, gone tomorrow. So that is true. There are goals like that, or there are things you might want like that are actually symbolic of, that you don't really want, and that are actually symbolic of something much more complex, maybe much more difficult to manage, face, and accept, let alone reckon with, right? But my point is that any kind of fitness goal, it's like any other goal, like being good at an instrument or getting to every country on Earth, before you die, or every state in America or whatever, or all of these things, they require thought. And like I said, the sacrifice that you experience when you're pursuing a fitness goal is as much, if not more, in the realm of thought than in the realm of food or exercise. Because it is thought, unfortunately, that's going to get either of those things done. Like, you have to think about having the food in your house, to think about cooking it, having it prepared, not running out of it, finding things you can tolerate and or like. All that requires thought. Doesn't get done by itself, unless you hire a coach or you hire whatever. But even if you do, it's still not getting done by itself. Similarly, like fitness, right? Like, you have to think about when to get the workouts in, or when to go to the fitness class, or when to whatever. Again, like, if you don't think about those things, then they ain't getting done. And so the first really sacrifice you make is thought. You try to dedicate enough thought to it without obsessing over it, hyperfixating on it, and driving yourself up the wall with too many ideas and variables that can create analysis paralysis, which is what I experienced in a certain way, you know. But it was recognizing, I mean, I'm still probably going to ask myself, why am I doing this bulk? I'm going to ask myself that a lot. And I might not always have an answer, right? Because your sense of its importance can change. The sense of the importance of any goal can change from day to day, a lot of the time. Especially in like a privileged, comfortable society like a lot of us live in. You know, the privilege of having goals that you can dedicate this amount of time or that amount of time to, in other words, aren't dictated by necessity. That's freaking privileged as fuck. That doesn't mean it's like it should be easy, or it should be, you know, it's not a challenge. It is a challenge. But part of overcoming the challenge is contextualizing what it is. And that context can include, if it is helpful, can include the fact that it's fucking ridiculous and silly to overanalyze whether you should include sweet potato chips in your bulk or not. It's insane to analyze like whether like you should gain 1.5 pounds a week or 1 pound a week or 2 pounds a week. It's not like it's not important. It's just to fixate on that, focus on it, and by fixating and focusing, not fucking deciding, that is absurd. It's silly. And to see it in that light actually can help you adhere to it, because it takes off some of the pressure, and it takes off some of the gravity. The gravity. It doesn't mean it's not important. It is important. It just means that, fuck, man, it doesn't fucking matter. I just have to do something. And keeping that in mind is much more important than being like, every detail matters and every single fucking variable is the end of the fucking world, right? Every fucking decision I make is just, it has to be perfect, and I have to be perfect, it has to be this, it has to be that, and if I fuck it up even a little bit, like, that level of pressure is not generally sustainable, right? So, just some thoughts there. Hope it's helpful. Peace out.